Inside Mercer Basketball with Coach Bob Hoffman and your host, Rick Cameron. Brought to you by Wild Wing Cafe.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to Wild Wing Cafe. We're here with Mercer head coach Bob Hoffman to talk inside Mercer basketball. Coach, we thought we'd done a lot of traveling back in the fall. We went to the Great Alaska Shootout in Anchorage, but since then, seemingly, we have continued to see the roadways.
Well, we've seen planes, trains, automobiles, everything you can imagine, seems like. Buses, every mode of transportation, and lots of the United States we've gotten to see.
Yeah. All right, Coach, let's talk about the 6-game most recent road trip leading up to where we are now. But
that's
first,
hard to say, isn't it? 6-game road trip.
It is, and we may be one of the few teams in America that accomplished that. But walk us through the SEC games. Played really well against very athletic teams, Tennessee, Georgia, and Texas A&M.
Yeah, we started out at Tennessee. They pressed us. We were in the game late. We were right there. We took care of the ball. We really didn't score as much as we needed to. Missed some open shots. They are athletic and they are long. And then we just weren't able to finish that game. And then we played it against Georgia. It's just amazing how our guys compete every night. They've done a great job. We were right there, had a rebound. Stephon Jelks got a big rebound in the first overtime. George Strawberry hit a big shot in regulation to get us to overtime. And then we weren't able to finish the game, but it was a tribute to our guys' just want to and determination, how they played all those minutes and got us to those points, and we weren't able to get it done. Then we went to Texas A&M, played another athletic team. We didn't play as well that night. They really played, I thought, as well as they'd played up until that point, and we weren't able to even come close to them. We got close in the second half, but they stretched it out pretty quick.
All right, Coach, then we got into SoCon play, but before we leave that 7-3 games, I really think a lot of us believe, go back to that Georgia game.
Right.
The confidence that day, I know nobody wants to accept the loss, but still, there were a lot of younger players, that, including Jordan Strawberry hitting the shot, but that were transposed that day into veteran players almost.
Well, really, since that time, Jordan Strawberry's made some big plays. Stephon Jelks has made a three, I think, almost in every game except the other night. He's really stepped up. He's rebounding. His per-minute rebounding average has got to be high in the country. He's playing high level. We've had multiple other guys. Justin Lewis played great in the Georgia game, and he's kind of come out of his shell.
Share his nickname, Coach, for our TV audience. 2-2.
He should be 3-3 instead of 2-2. I mean, he likes shooting threes more than he likes twos. Yeah. But I don't know how he got that nickname. We'll have to ask him.
Yeah,
maybe he did. One of these segments we'll have later in the year. But it's been a fun. It was a hard stretch during Christmas. Was thrown in the middle of that. But what I told our guys going into the 3 conference road games, if we could find a way to win all 3, we'd be right in the conference race. If we lost all 3, we could still win the conference. It'd be hard. If we won 2 or we won 1, I thought we'd be right where we want to be, because as everybody talks about, if you can win half your road games in conference play, no matter what league you're in, and win all your home games, you're going to have a chance at the end of the season to win a championship. And so right now, we're right where we want to be. We could have even gotten that East Tennessee game. We had a shot right at the buzzer. Darius turned around. I thought he was going to knock it down. It looked good until it got closer to the rim, and he just barely missed it. But even in that game, we were behind, and our guys made a monumental effort to get back into the game against a very talented East Tennessee state team.
Later on in the show, we want to talk specifically about the standings, the SoCon, and the where we've put ourselves in position. But I know you always, in non-conference play, like to expose your team to just about anything, whether it be offensively or defensively. Do you feel like you accomplished that this year? I know a very tough non-conference schedule. You think you went up about everything that you'll see later on?
Yeah, I thought our schedule was probably a little too tough for us this year, but I thought our guys got exposed to all kinds of presses. We've played against more pressing teams this year maybe than since I've been here combined. I mean, and we're going to play more in the conference play because more people are pressing, it seems like. I don't know if that's a success of Kentucky or Louisville or all those teams doing some of that, but I think we've seen all the different kinds of zones. I'll be surprised if we see anything we haven't seen to this point. And that's where you want to be when you go into conference play. You want to be ready, and you want to be prepared and playing against live competition that puts you in those circumstances and those situations, give you opportunity to feel more comfortable when you get into conference play.
All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to go to one of our seniors, TJ Hallis. He's played in every game since he's been a freshman here at Mercer. So we'll be joining TJ back on campus when we come back with more Inside Mercer Basketball.
For over 20 years, Mercer has relied on Forsyth Street Orthopedics.
Their team of physicians keeps players on the court.
Forsyth Street Orthopedics and Ortho Georgia have merged together into one practice, and we're stronger than ever with 26 physicians and 5 regional offices. As a graduate of Mercer and a partner of Ortho Georgia, we are proud to sponsor and take care of Mercer athletes.
Ortho Georgia, getting better together.
Go Bears!
Over 3,000 new cars, over 1,500 used cars. Come experience the difference.
We're back in the Mercer team room with more Inside Mercer Basketball. 2 seniors on the basketball team this year, one of which TJ Hallis. TJ, first thing I want to ask you about, I know you and your dad are very close. I see him at a lot of games. I actually had forgotten that you were coached by your father, Tim. And I'm looking into the media guide, he holds the scoring and the rebounding record at New England College. So tell us about playing in earlier years for your dad.
My dad was a huge influence in my basketball career. He was very, very intense. Whenever my dad was there, my game was to a whole nother level because he expected a lot from me. And, you know, he's a great person to learn from. You know, he does scoring record, rebounding record, so he gives me that mindset. And, you know, he did everything for me. He's a big-time guy. Even when he's in the stands right now, you know, it's hard to play for Coach Hoffman, but my dad's there. I still get more nervous because he's been there. My but now going into my college career, he's been a lot better, less coaching, but more supporting. Yeah. And that's huge. I'm thankful every day for him.
TJ, one thing I love, I've watched practically every game you've played, called every game that you've played. I love the way you play fundamentals. You know, you'll take a charge, you'll die for a basketball, whatever it takes. One of my favorite pictures the last 3 or 4 years was at Tennessee in the NIT when you drew that charge. It really turned that game around. Is that the way your dad taught you to play, or did you growing up say, I'm going to do whatever it takes to help my team win?
I mean, my dad taught me that, but that's something my sisters always did when they were playing. You know, they gave up their bodies. Like, I remember my sister, Megan, she's the one that's closest to me. You know, she would have bruises all over her body, and she would always tell me, hey, you go after it, and if you get hurt, you get up as fast as you can. So I always had that mindset, go as hard as you can, and every ball's important, and sometimes you got to take the big hits.
Only 2 seniors this year, TJ. You're half the senior class. We just graduated 7 great seniors. You've been through the gamut, you know, championships, first year, second year, third year, the CIT, onto the NIT, and then last year, of course, the magical run. Only 2 guys left around. What's it like now, the transition? You look around, there's not Jake Gollum, there's not Daniel Corsi, there's not Kevin Canavoy on the floor. What's the transition been like?
I mean, it's a lot different. You know, at the beginning, you know, no one knew the little details, and that's the biggest thing about Coach Hoffman is the little details. You know, teaching them, you know, the youngsters, the young freshmen, it's very tough, but they're getting used to it. You know, the Mercer way, the Mercer system is very, very tough to grasp. You know, it takes a little bit, but the guys are getting it, and I'm proud of them for it.
Personally, TJ, from the time that you arrived at Mercer until as we sit here today with all the many accomplishments of this team, what has the ride been like for you personally, seeing Mercer for the first time and now all the many wins, the titles, the rings? What has your career meant to you?
It's meant the world to me. I can't believe it. You know, everything that's happened, it's just crazy. You know, just going home and seeing my 3 rings, it's like, wow, I can't believe what we just did. And, you know, just doing it with your brothers is even a bigger thing because we're a family. And just knowing that you had that with your teammates is just, it's amazing. The ride has been great, and I'll never forget it. This is my family for life here.
Now, as we have that transition, you're the senior, one of the 2, going down the stretch, so to speak, as we get into January, February, SoCon games. What's the message you send down to your underclassmen of what it takes to win a championship now in the Southern Conference as opposed to last year's Atlantic Sun?
I mean, it doesn't matter which conference, but it's just an everyday thing. You know, Coach Hoffman's big about next game, next thing, next thing. You be focused on that moment. And that's one thing that we preach very hard. It's an everyday thing. Championships are won at the start of the season, and now it's getting more important, but it's every day, because in order to win a championship, you just can't turn it off and on. It's an everyday process. And that's one thing I've learned. You have to go every day like you are playing for a championship. And then when that championship game comes, you're ready.
What about TJ in the full cycle, not just on the court playing games, but off the court? Road trips, 5, 6, 7 days. What as a senior are you having to share with the underclassmen about traveling as a family together?
Traveling actually makes us more closer, because we're on that bus for so long. We're in the airports and the planes, and we're joking with each other and stuff like that. So it actually brings us together. The days get long. Like we went to Alaska 9 days. It was fun, but you're over there man, I can't wait to go back to Macon. But it's just, you just talk to them, because we're a family. We're very easy to talk to each other, and it's just a mindset that we're just in it together and just have fun with each other.
Your senior season, TJ, at some point that final game's going to come. Internally, is your clock ticking and telling you every game means so much more this year for that reason?
I guess so, but I play every game like it's my last game, because you never know when you're going to play your last game. If it's my next game or my last game in Mercer history, I play when it's my last game. You don't know how much time you have. So, it's ticking a little bit, but I take every game like it's my last.
TJ, for the youngsters who may be watching our show today, may be thinking about, I'd love to play D1 college basketball one day, what's the best bit of advice you'd give to them?
It's not all but Division I. It can be Division II, Division III, anywhere. Playing beyond high school is a big deal. It doesn't matter if you're what size of the school. It's just if you're playing, and if you are working hard, work hard every day. Work for your dream. Never give up. 'Cause there's gonna be people that say you can't do it and that you're not good enough. But if you just work hard, you can persevere it.
And I would imagine, TJ, as we come down the stretch and that conference tournament is in sight, you do play every game as if it's your last. But
yes.
I'm sure you are starving to death for one more chance at a championship.
I can taste it. Once you get that taste in your mouth of going to March Madness, you do anything to get it back. I want it so bad. I don't think people understand how bad I want it. So once we get to that SoCon tournament in Asheville, they're going to have to hold me back, because I'm going to become a different monster then.
Sounds great, TJ. You've been a great player for us. 120 consecutive games at this point. You've never missed a game since you've been at Mercer, and let's keep that streak alive all the way through the tournament.
Try to knock on some wood or something. I'm trying to stay.
Thanks for being with us today here, TJ. We'll be back with more Inside Mercer Basketball after this.
Hey, all you Bear fans, I know we're having a great time at this game. It's exciting, fun. We're getting after it. If you want to have a good time after this game, you need to go over to Margaritas in Mercer Village. They have amazing Mexican food, and they're going to take care of you. All kinds of specials. You can find what you want. Look at my body. It's working good for me. Come on over and check them out at Mercer Village. Margaritas.
As a business owner, you need to choose the financial direction that's best for you. To find a clear path to growth and success. At BB&T, we support businesses of all sizes with personal service and advice, sharing the sound financial knowledge we've gained over more than 140 years, so you can move ahead with confidence. Talk to us today about your business goals. BB&T, sharing knowledge for a brighter direction.
Well, we're back now at Wild Wing Cafe, the shops at Rivers Crossing. Coach, we just heard TJ Hallis. I want to talk about some of our players, the efforts they've given you. TJ is a warrior. Right? He will take a charge and take one for the team as quick and as hard as anyone maybe I've ever seen play.
Well, he's for sure the best post defender I've ever coached. It's not even with that. There's no question about it. But then his toughness, he's been hurt multiple times already this season. He just hops back up like, who cares if I'm hurt? I'm getting back in this game. I'm not missing a minute. I want to play. And I think part of that's because he played behind Monty Brown. He played behind Daniel Corsi all those years, and he fought like crazy. And it's his moment.
Yep.
And he's stepped into his moment in a big way. We're thrilled that he's a part of our program. He's going to graduate. He only has to have a few hours this spring. He's going to get his degree. And so what a tremendous asset he's been in every shape and form and fashion he's done for our program. He's been fantastic. Let's
talk about some of our other players, Coach. Let's talk about our point guard, Philip Leonard. He can explode as fast as anyone.
Yeah, and he's leading the league in assists. He's 4.9 assists. If you started the year and you would have told me he would have been leading the league in assists, I don't know if any of our coaches would have believed that, because he is so good at going to the rim. Sometimes he can't see everything around him, and our assistants have worked on it. He spent time on it. He's getting better and better finding guys, and he's just tremendous in his spurt ability to get downhill. There's still a lot of things he can learn and get better at, but for what he had to step into, who he was replacing, and how he's done it, it's been pretty special.
And he has really worked hard at an important element that we need him at the free throw line.
Yeah, he's gotten better and better there, and he closed the game out at VMI the other night. Those were big free throws he hit, but he's done a great job. When you throw George Strawberry as a kind of a change of pace compared to Phillip, two really good point guards, and we're thrilled they're part of our program.
For most of the season, Coach, Ike Wamu has led us in scoring. Ike, Dominique Wilkin used to be a human highlight film. The modern day human highlight might be Ike Wamu, but he does so many other things as well.
Yeah, Ike has gotten much better at catch and shoot threes. In fact, he's in the top 10 in the league in three-point percentage and threes made per game. When he got here several years ago, I would have never guessed he would be able to do that, and he works as hard as anybody on his game. He really wants to be a great player. He's gotten better and better at taking coaching and understanding what his weaknesses are and understanding what his strengths. I think he still has loads of talent that he hasn't used yet and that he doesn't even know how to use yet. That's how good he is. And you're right, he has jumped up there and made some top 10 plays. In fact, 2 in 1 week earlier in the season. We're hopeful that I have a few more of those before the season's out.
Darius Moten, Coach, is really, you're talking about a player who has just continued to improve since he has been here, and now this year providing excellent senior leadership.
Yeah, Darius is averaging over 10 points a game now. When he first got here, he was a walk-on. Bowden, Georgia, nobody really wanted to give him a scholarship. He had no opportunities to go play anywhere. Engineering major, smarter than me. He analyzes everything, which is to his detriment sometimes, but he has really stepped into the role that he's been given. He plays at a high level. He's our best shot blocker. He's really getting better and better each night out of feeling comfortable. Early in the season, I was probably putting a little too much pressure on him in that we were running plays for him to score, and now he's just scoring out of the plays we're running. And I think that's really helped him relax and be more of a contributor on a night-in, night-out basis.
Jabri Bryant already has his degree, got it along with the other seniors last year. He came when Daniel Coursey did, same high school, but already 2 double-doubles in conference games.
Yeah, and all that is true, but he's guarding the toughest guy every night, and he's playing great defense for us. He'll play the point guard, he'll guard the shooting guard. He's so long, and he's lanky. He can get into passing lanes. He gets his hands on a lot of balls, and he has gotten better and better hitting the open three. We'll need him to hit those open threes the rest of the season for us to be as successful as we've been to this point. But he's been an integral part. I'm so excited that he's getting a chance to be successful after all the surgeries he had. He's a special young man.
Early in the year, Coach, most of our scoring and productivity was coming from the starters. Now, you, the staff, have worked with some of these younger guys. You can look down the bench now, and a Stephon Jelks, a Justin Lewis, a Jordan Strawberry, a Matt Panaggio are there to step up and help you with bench scoring.
Yeah, we need them, and we'll need them the rest of the way. And you're right, our assistants have worked hard with those guys. Our managers, they've all spent time helping those guys get shots up. And so I think we're not as good as we're going to be at the end, but we're much better than when we started. So that's exciting as a staff and a program that we still have room to grow and that we can be ready for that conference tournament here in a few weeks.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to take a look at the Southern Conference, see what the trends are, as Coach said, as we head down the road toward that conference tournament in Asheville in March. We'll be back with the next segment. We return to Inside Mercer Basketball.
DNA augmentation initiated. Neural speeds increasing to 4G LTE. Brain upgrading to a quad-core processor. precognitive intelligence with Google Now complete.
Introducing Droid DNA by HTC. It's not an upgrade to your phone, it's an upgrade to yourself.
So here's the game plan. Rush into the Wild Wing Cafe and tackle one of our new steakhouse burgers. 100% Angus, 100% great. It's an all-star lineup that can win you tickets to the biggest games of the year. Where?
I was looking through the paper and I saw a really good ad from 5 Star Ford in Warner Robins. So when I went, I was actually really picky and my salesperson worked with me until I finally found the truck that I liked, and it was a black Ford 2011 F-150 XLT Super Crew. And it actually has an EcoBoost, so it's a little bit better on gas, and I love it. I would definitely recommend 5 Star to all my friends.
Well, we're back at Wild Wing Cafe as we talk inside Mercer basketball. Head coach Bob Hoffman. We pause now to take a break into the Making Occupational Medicine look at the Southern Conference. Coach, 4-1 in conference play, and the even better news about that is 3 of them on the road.
Yeah, that was a huge stretch for us, those 3 on the road. Our guys showed great toughness, winning at Greensboro after being on the road for multiple weeks, and then getting the win against a really talented VMI team. We were able to get those back-to-back, and then they had a chance at East Tennessee. Had a shot at the buzzer to win and win all 3.
Tremendous defensive pressure last 4 or 5 minutes of that game.
We went zone defense that helped us get through that segment, but there's lots of good teams. I think there's going to be more and more upsets and games on the road that doesn't look like, you know, Samford hasn't won a conference game, but they've been in every game, and Coach Padgett, he's done a great job with that team, and they're going to win games. You know, I just hope it's not against us. But there's multiple teams can still upset and be better, and then by time conference play, I think you could, anybody could come out of here with wins. I mean, Wofford's the favorite because they've done it.
That's right.
The last 2 years, they got the most guys back. They have experience. Chattanooga's athletic. And so you could, I mean, there's a bunch of very good teams. Western Carolina's very good too. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out in the coming weeks. But I think for us specifically, we're in a great place. We've done a good job. We've got to continue playing well at home. We've got to have the great crowds we've had, because that helps us get the success at home.
Yeah, I think if any of us had been discussing this season prior to playing the first game and somebody said, Coach, would you take 4-1 your first 5 games and that one, only a 1-point loss, I think you'd been satisfied with that.
Well, and when you consider we've only been 3-0 one other time in school history in conference play, that kind of gives it a little different understanding of what we've been able to accomplish. But 4-1 is good. We hope to get a couple this week so we can be 6-1 when we're talking next week.
All right, Coach, let's take a moment now and talk about our Sonic Player of the Week.
Well, Darius Moten is the guy I think we should choose. He's been the most consistent guy in conference play. I think he's leading us in scoring in conference play. Jabri Bryan may be leading us in rebounds in conference play, but Darius has done a tremendous job doing a lot of different kinds of things for us, playing different positions, and we need him to be that productive the rest of the way.
Coach, as we proceed in Southern Conference play, I know it's only 5 games thus far, still have several to go, but anything about the Southern Conference that has maybe you realize now that you did not before the season started among the teams?
Well, I know that we're traveling north instead of south. And it's a lot colder when you travel north than south. Because you used to be traveling to Florida and walking was a little easier for me. And I'm a little old, you know, I'm a little younger than you.
I understand. I'm always the oldest guy on the bus.
But when we traveling north to Virginia, I mean, it was cold. But I still got to walk in most of those places, and that's important to me. I've got to have that, get out there and get moving around. But other than that, you know, we got really good coaches, tremendous players, a lot of similarities in the league other than the geographical locations of some of the universities.
And speaking about that, Coach, with the exception of maybe VMI, we call this a bus league because we can get to these other places. It's not the drive to Fort Myers. So as we continue SoCon play, the rivalries will just continue to get better as our fans realize it's a short drive to Chattanooga, to Greenville, to Birmingham. The rivalries are really going to spur from this.
Well, and the great thing for us, we've gotten all the long trips over.
Yeah.
They're mostly shorter trips from this point forward, which is a blessing. Especially this time of year, you never know what you're going to encounter on the road. So we're glad we're able to get those over. You're right. I think we'll have some people show up in bigger numbers at those venues that you mentioned, because they are short trips, and I think the rivalries will grow as the name recognition continues to happen, as it started with football in the fall.
And Coach, 4,000 people, more than 4,000 at our most recent home game. Mercer basketball is alive and well, Coach.
Yeah, we had a lot of people that were made that come to fruition. Daniel Tate, Jonathan Howard, Jim Cole, and all the people that work with them, getting the word out. We're thankful. Then our home church had a crew out there, Ingleside Baptist. We're grateful for what they were able to get a good group out. But it's paramount to success to have crowds, and we started talking about that when I first got here 7 years ago, and we continue to grow that. I think we can get even more consistent in our crowds. I'd love when the crowd is like it was the other night, because there's just so much energy in the building, and it helps you when you're tired and you need a run, and maybe your motor's not quite like it needs to be, like our guys was, after being on the road as much as we've been. And I thought that was a huge difference in the game when we made a couple threes, or we made a dunk, or got a shot. They'd get behind us or get a defensive stop, and that's what you have to have at home to win. And I think we're continuing to build a fantastic home environment that will give us the opportunity to be successful in the coming games.
2 months ago, a complete new starting lineup. Nobody knew what to expect, but here we are, 4-1 in conference play. An exciting time for our fans to continue to come out, and as this team, the young guys, just continue to get better every game.
Yeah, I think we haven't reached our ceiling yet, and I believe these guys will keep getting better, and I'm excited about what the future holds.
All right, and we're going to be here at Wild Wing every week. Hope you'll join us here live if you can. If not, thanks for joining our show. Head coach Bob Hoffman, Rick Cameron. This has been Inside Mercer Basketball.